Hey, what's up YouTube? It's the Brick Building Kids. Guys, today I'm coming to you with a video that I've wanted to make for a long time. I've wanted to pull the trigger on this product for a long time and finally did. So we got our hands on a Raspberry Pi 4 starter kit. So if you're not familiar with the Raspberry Pi, there is a world of opportunities for customization that you can do with these little kits. Now this is basically a computer, and I'm gonna open this box up, show you everything inside, and we're gonna just scratch the surface on what you can do with this. So here we go. So let's see what's inside here. So we open up the box. All right, we've got our little instruction manual. This manual is going to be very important. It's going to help show you how to get your operating system downloaded and how to connect all these things together. So in with the starter kit is our own little case. So this case here, I'm going to use for now, but I do have high hopes that me and the boys can use our 3D printer and we can make our own custom case for this. All right, so in here, this is going to be our, this is our main board. All right, just take a peek at this for now. So we'll open this up. We opened this up the right way. Okay, so here's our board, and we do have memory with the starter kit. So we have a 32 gigabyte mini SD card, and we have the micro SD card, and we have the micro SD card adapter. So two really cool perks for buying the starter kit. You know, a lot of this, if you only need particular parts, you can just buy, you know, the parts. You can buy the board, you can buy the case, but for us, having everything coming together is going to be super nice, you know, especially not needing to buy it, you know, place another order for a memory card or place another order for cables. This all comes in the starter pack. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. All right, so we have our micro HDMI, or our mini HDMI to HDMI cables. We have our power adapter, another cable, we have our fan, and we have our heat sinks. We've got a nice little screwdriver, and we have a USB adapter. So let's take a look at all these things. Right, perfect. Now I'm going to do my best to show you guys how to get everything started on here, and just, like I said, really scratch the surface on the things that we can do here. But inside the starter kit, you will find a manual that will show you how to get your iOS downloaded, how to take it from your personal computer onto the micro SD card and hook it up. But I'm going to show you all that here today, so it's not all limited to my knowledge. It's all going to come with you on the starter pack. So we're going to have a lot of fun getting this started. All right, and we're going to have a lot of fun getting this started. So I am going to move over to my computer, and we're going to show you how to get your operating system downloaded for your Raspberry Pi. Okay, so we're going to download this for Windows. Okay, and let's open this. And while we're opening this, I'm going to get my SD card ready. Okay, so it has finished installing. Okay, so we're going to open it up. Okay, so we have the Raspberry Pi 4. All right, and we are just going to choose the most recent operating system. Okay, so the operating system is pre-chosen for us. So we're going to select, I'm going to put my SD card in. There's nothing on here, so my system just pre-opens this, but we're going to select storage, and I'm going to select my SD card. We're going to go next. All right, so now we're good to go. We're going to take this and we are going to prep the Raspberry Pi now. We could get it started, but I want to install the heat sinks and put this together a little better before we start. So let's move on. All right, so now that we have our iOS installed on our micro SD card that actually came with our starter pack. So again, I mean, that's super important with memory and the Raspberry Pi. So if you're going to buy the Raspberry Pi alone, make sure you have the different peripherals to go with it, the different accessories. But the starter kit, it does come with that SD card that's going to help you get started. So our next step with our starter kit is to install these heat sinks. So I'm going to take the Raspberry Pi out again. Okay, we'll be very careful with this. Okay, we're going to set this down on a flat surface, and we're going to install these heat sinks on each of their components. So as you can tell, all right, a little closer look here. So here are the 4 heat sinks that came with our starter pack. So you can tell each of these are appropriately sized to fit over the component that they are to help. So this is a little smaller, so I'm not going to use my fingers. So put that there, and this will go here. So what I'm going to do now is, since these are all adhered by 2-sided tape, I'm going to take, okay, we're going to pull. So we're going to put this right on top of the processor. And we're not going to drop it next time. Okay, it's a little bigger than my tweezers. Okay. All right, so it's comfortably sitting on there. And let's do the next. All right, we'll do the same here. All right, and from all my research, the heat sinks aren't really necessary if you're going to be doing any overclocking or running a lot of 4K videos on this. Then maybe you'll see a great benefit. But if you're just going to be doing simple work, simple processing, this heat sinks may not be all that necessary. Since we bought the kit, we got them, we're going to use them. So and I'm going to show you how to use them. Okay. And last. Okay, perfect. So we have installed all of our heat sinks on our Raspberry Pi. So we're going to continue with our steps to getting this actually set up, turned on, and working. All right, so now that we have our heat sinks applied, we have our iOS installed on our micro SD card, I'm going to take a look at the case. So we could essentially run the entire Raspberry Pi without a case, but again, we bought the starter kit with the case. We are going to put it in here. So all right, so here is our fancy little case. So you see inside the case, there's some mounting brackets. There's some brackets as well for the fan that came with the device. But this is a very, very simple case. It's just small enough to fit in most pockets. And yeah, it's got a little slot here underneath for your micro SD cards. So you can attach this and not worry about taking it on and off. So let's get a closer look here. All right. Very cool. So let's hook this up. So we're going to take, on the underside of the Raspberry Pi, there's a slot here you're going to see for your micro SD card. So we're going to slide this in. Okay, so it's sitting in there. Perfect. You're going to make sure that you can see the lip here. Okay, and it should just pull right out in the event you need it. So we're going to slide this in here. And actually, we're going to put this in first. We're going to put this on in the case, and we'll put the micro SD card in after we put the case on. So, all right, so you will want to make sure that you detach this, because we're going to need that in order to fit the Raspberry Pi in here perfectly. So now that we're in, let's attach it. Okay. And there's only 4 screws that you need to use to attach this to the board. Okay, so we are in. Now let's put that SD card back in here. So we'll insert it here. Okay. All right, now this should fit right on over top with no issues and snap right back into place. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go one more step. Up here, this is where our fan mounts. So you can see we're gonna just install this here. So I'm gonna take, and we're gonna find our fan, and we're gonna install that. All right, so now we're gonna go to install the fan. So the only issue that I have with the fan is the screws that came with the fan are not going to fit on this board. So they are giant, and these little holes are not quite big enough. So for the time being, I thought I might have some smaller screws that are going to fit in here, but I actually don't. So we're going to temporarily make this work. So it is attached. It's not going to fall off. There is some hold in here, but it's not going to be permanent. So I'm going to have to find some future screws for this. But the fan itself, we're just going to plug into the very first set of prongs here. Okay. And we're gonna set this on. Okay, now our Raspberry Pi is set up to rock and roll now. So we're going to connect this guy to power. I am going to get a video source by using the cords that came with this. Okay, so I'm gonna use my HDMI mini cord. I'm gonna plug it into here. Okay, now for you guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna actually plug it into my recording so we can actually view what's going on my screen as well. So we're gonna find our power source as well. Okay, you can see we plugged it into the first HDMI mini spot. And for our power supply, we are gonna plug that into the USB-C part, okay? And like I said, we have our SD card here with our operating system on it. And we're going to get a keyboard and a mouse to plug in to our USB ports. Okay. Keyboard and mouse. All right, very good. So let's get this set up to my monitor. All right, so we've got this hooked up. So here's what we're doing. This is our Raspberry Pi. This is our keyboard. Like I said, this is our power. This is our HDMI out. We're gonna take our HDMI out, and I have a video capture device here plugged into my computer. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna share with you the entire transition of basically getting into our Raspberry Pi. So here we go. All right, we are on. I'm going to reveal the lid. Okay. See, and again, this is the fan. You need to adjust the fan. Okay. So my Raspberry Pi is booting up. You can see on my screen here, the Raspberry Pi iOS has been recognized. It is opening. Now the Raspberry Pi will boot up if you do not have a on-off switch like we do. So on our power source, we have an on and off switch. So we're gonna let it keep booting up. Seeing that red light? All right, perfect. Okay, so let's set this up. All right, we've created our new user. Okay, I'll connect to my main network here. We're going to leave Chromium installed. We'll leave Firefox installed as well. All right, awesome. So our Raspberry Pi is now up to date. So we've got to restart it, and it's ready to go. So let's restart it and go. Excellent. So now we have our Raspberry Pi fully working, ready to rock and roll. Now, what do we do next? That's an excellent question. What you do next is completely up to you. The Raspberry Pi opens up a world of technology potential, and it fits in the palm of your hands. If you want to stream videos, surf the internet, or social media, the built-in web browsers will help you navigate to your destination. If it's gaming, Raspberry Pi will help you take it to the next level. If you want to explore programming by creating your first script in Python to possibly a sophisticated home monitoring system, Raspberry Pi is the pathway. There is an abundance of resources available to empower you with the Raspberry Pi. Take your education as far as your desire to learn will go. I love my little Raspberry Pi starter kit, and I would highly recommend this to anyone wanting to grow with Python and enable your creativity. The starter kit contained everything I needed to start going. The Raspberry Pi 4 board, the Raspberry Pi case, the micro SD card, power supply, 2 HDMI cables, heat sinks, fan, and the very important setup instructions. I hope this video helps foster your creativity and desire to learn. I've included some links to get your own Raspberry Pi. Thank you very much for watching the Brick Building Kids, and have a great day.